Japan. Well, that's a very, very uh, good topic to talk about this afternoon. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Harold Maisunia, and I'm a student that currently studying here in Japan. And as you can see, uh, I'm surrounded by a very, very beautiful scenery out here. This is the waterfall square here in Odaba, Tokyo. Anyway, back to our topic. What are the challenges of studying in Japan, uh, especially for uh, an international student? Well, before we even talk about the challenges, I think everything has two sides. Um, a lot of people, thousands of students around the world, have over the years benefited from uh, Japan's generous offer to sponsor students to study in Japan for free. Uh, and yeah, talking to you right now, I'm one of them. And I'm so grateful for the Japanese government for uh, being so generous and allowing um, students from um, other countries to come to Japan to receive higher education. But as um, we as we always know, everything has two sides. Like there is a good side and a bad side. So uh, I've decided to talk about the challenges of actually studying in Japan, because I think when it comes uh, to studying here in Japan, a lot of people only uh, focus on like um, the good side of being here as a student. But um, I don't really want to paint a bad picture of Japan in this video. I just want to actually just talk about some of the challenges, like just to be honest about it as a student. Well, the purpose of doing this video is I want to at least provide an honest view as a student who is currently studying here in Japan, so that it will it will sort of give um, it will sort of provide um, a clear picture to anyone who is interested in coming to Japan to study. Well, in the house we have Ada, my brother, Mohammed. Hello, thanks for joining. Yeah, so um, I think the most obvious one is the most obvious challenge would be the Japanese language itself. Now, I think this one depends on which university you're you're going to study. Like over the years, a lot of Japanese universities, especially graduate level studies, they have offered courses in English. So I think this is a challenge that I think you can easily find your way around if you if you do not speak Japanese. If you do not speak Japanese, as long as you find yourself in a university that offers courses in English, I think um, you can easily find your way around the Japanese language. But I personally think that um, as a student, you're going to need some form of Japanese if you are going to stay here for um, 2 or 3 years. Um, you can still survive without Japanese, but I think knowing Japanese is kind of an advantage because you can get to talk to people, you can get to find your way around, and when you are um, out by yourself in public, you can you can easily get around like with um, with Japanese. But um, for me personally, I think I have a question here. How is your Japanese so far, my bro? Yeah. So my Japanese is really really bad. Like I'm not at all conversational in my Japanese, but I do know how just like basic greetings and all these. But yeah, it's still a challenge. It's still a challenge. Although I I, I can easily find my way around with the help of things like Google Translate. I think it's still a challenge. It's still a challenge. So um, that is something that you need to keep in mind. If you want to come to study in Japan, uh, you should um, find a way to at least know a bit of Japanese. Even if your school doesn't require you to learn Japanese, I think knowing Japanese will kind of enhance your living here. You will get to enjoy interacting with other people and all this. Uh, yeah, so that is the first challenge. Okay, the second challenge um, for international students studying in Japan, I think it's something to do with paperwork. Um, what do I mean by paperwork? Now, before I came to Japan, like I know Japan as a country that is well advanced and like um, some of the restaurants they use robots and all this. So I have this idea that Japan is going to be a very very advanced country, and it's true. It's a very 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 advanced country. It's like technology wise, it's they're they're so up there. But the thing about Japan is, I think uh, despite being really up there uh, in terms of technology and development, they still have this uh, they still have this love for paperwork. Uh, so let me give you an example. Now, if you are going to get a SIM card uh, for your cell phone, like in my country, uh, what I need to do is I can go to the the cell phone company, and I can just like in a few minutes I can get a SIM card from them. But here in Japan, like what happened to me when I went to get my cell phone SIM card was I I had to spend more than 2 hours in the shop because man, like they require you to sign a lot of papers, manually sign a lot of papers. Um, I mean, like they have the technology, but they still want you to um, to sign papers. And that's not only for the cell phone companies. You get to do this like mm, with a lot of companies. And if if you live in a house, you have to go to the ward office, and then you have to tell them about a lot of information about your new place. And if if you have like this is the building that we live in, and if you decide to move to another room within the same facility, when you decide to move to another, that when you decide to move to the new room, you you still have to go to the ward office to actually register uh, that new move that you're going to do. And like I think um it's a challenge because like it takes a lot of time for you to um, get things done. Like if you're thinking of for example, like getting a SIM card, or I mean registering for certain things, and like when you are here. Um, so yeah, I find it. I don't think. I mean, I find it challenging. Like with my limited Japanese, uh, I think it takes a lot of time to go through this all these processes. But yeah, I've heard from like from a friend. Like he told me something about Japan. Like Japan is a very beautiful country, and I think like that's what he told me. Like it's a very beautiful country to visit, and for you to live here and to work here, I think it's totally different. Like living here alone, like because of the paperwork and all this, you're going to go through a lot of processes. So yeah, that's uh, another challenge. Paperwork. What else? Um, hmm. Oh, for those of us who come from tropical countries like the Solomon Islands, another challenge that I find after I moved to Japan is the weather. Um, in my country, we only have the rainy season and the sunny season, so it's it's kind of like um, summer all year round. But here in Japan, like you have four seasons. So yeah, so um, what's this? Uh, they have very hot summer, and during the winter, like some parts of Japan are very cold. Tokyo is not that really cold. Like a few weeks ago, it snowed a bit here in Tokyo, but it it's kind of okay. But like if you're going to study in the northern part of Japan, it's very snowy during winter. So I think that is going to be very challenging for some students. Yeah. So uh, my friend, indeed, Japan is a very beautiful country, and there are so many good things about living in Japan. Having said said that there are so many good things about Japan. Like the country is very orderly. It's very organized, and even the people themselves are very good. Like they are very kind and all this. Hmm. And I think the final challenge that I'd like to talk about is the final challenge that I want to talk about this afternoon is mm, it, I'm trying to find the right words to use. Like I think the people. Let's just say the people. Okay, so Japan is like this. Um, Japanese people are very helpful. They are very honest and they are very kind. But they are not. They are not. They are not the kind. They are not. They are not really like. Okay, so my English is getting. It's very bad now. Okay, so let me explain again. So Japan. I don't know how to explain Japanese people. Explain to you like the way of life for Japanese people. I mean, they are so kind to strangers, but they are not the type of people that can, like, if something happens to you on the street, they can, uh, like, they can take you home. Okay, they can, um, yeah, they can help you, but like they mind their business a lot. So this can be quite lonely at times. Like uh, everyone just just do their own business and they mind their own business, and like it's coming from an island country. Uh, in my country, coming um, from a country like that, we we know a lot of people. Like it's uh, it's kind of strange when I first came to Japan. Like you don't have anyone to talk to if you don't have any international students around. You'll be spending time on your own for almost like a full week and all this. Like I came to Japan during the height of the pandemic, and like it was crazy. Like the place is so quiet and it's so quiet that it sometimes it's so weird too. So that's I think that's one of the challenging things about Japan as well. Like you need to get used to living on your own. And yeah, having said that, one of the things that I learned about Japan is like if 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 you're going to spend time if you're going to spend time like out in the rural areas, it it's kind of it's kind of it's very quiet, and the quietness is it's kind of weird in the sense that like you don't have anyone to talk to and all this. So I have a friend who is studying at a prefecture called Shiga, and I visited him once, and like the place is so beautiful, but I think I won't actually live there because you don't see a lot of people around. Like, yeah, it's kind of sad. So that is one of the things that I think you need to deal with if you move to Japan to study. You need to know that like Japanese people, they're um, in a good way, like they mind their own business. They don't want to like interfere into other people's businesses and all this. And they are yeah, so quiet and all this. So sometimes it can be quite lonely too because like you don't you don't get to interact with people and all this. So and yeah, it's not in the nature of Japanese people like just to strike a random conversation with someone on the street. That's like a total no-no in Japan. You don't walk up to strangers and talk to them directly. That's not that's not how they do it in Japan. So if you are an outgoing person, um, you you might find it strange if you come to Japan. But having said that, in cities like Tokyo, where you get to have a lot of international people, you might not really see some of the things that I talked about because you like have international people here. But I also found out that the more foreigners live in Japan, the more they get to adopt the way of the Japanese people. So yeah, it's kind of a culture here. So yeah, so those are the things that I find them challenging as a student when I moved to Japan. First, it's the language, and then secondly, um, it's the way they do business here. Like they require a lot of paperwork, and then mm, what was the third one? Yeah, the weather. Yeah, it's kind of different here. And finally, uh, it's like the people. Like they are kind, but then in a way they are so quiet that it can be quite lonely at times. Yeah. So Jay, Vinny, thanks for watching. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Haida Mohammed. Um, mm, I think you would definitely love it here. I've met a lot of visitors from America recently. They come to Japan. I have some friends. I met a few American tourists recently. They come to Japan to go up north in Hokkaido for skiing. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You need to come to Japan. Like that is the perspective of a student. Okay, so before we leave, this is the weather today. It's it's a dull day. Um, and it's overcast and it's also drizzling at the moment. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. This is Harold, and remember, I post videos about my experiences here in Japan. And if you have any questions, please leave them as a comment under this video. Um, I'm planning to talk about some good things. Um, I'm going to go. I'm planning to make another session very soon to talk about um, the some positive things about being an international student here in Japan. With that, from me, Harold, thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for subscribing. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Uh, as I'm planning to update my channel with more adventure videos here in Japan. From me, Harold, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.